success will hand you your butt. And it handed me my butt because once I had that mindset of being an NFL athlete, then I knew the business, started making some money in the business. You couldn't tell me anything.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by Advanced Services and Fuse Networks. My name's Galen.
I'm Joe.
We're coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. So, Joe, for our new listeners and viewers tuning in for the first time, how did our podcast start?
Sure. So it first started out as a Facebook group page, and the purpose was to bring business owners together to just talk to one another, share tips, ask questions. And because we're a marketing company and we get asked a lot of questions outside of just marketing, we thought what a better way than to bring on different guest speakers to talk about relevant topics and share their tips and knowledge with entrepreneurs.
Awesome. And today we have the pleasure of Mr. Marcus Ogden joining us. Today's topic will be about mindset, something very important for business people and entrepreneurs alike. Joe, can you start on Marcus's formal intro, please?
Yeah. So Marcus Ogden is a former NFL player who is now an inspirational keynote speaker. He's also the founder and CEO of Ogden Ventures, 3-time best-selling author, business coach, and consultant, and the podcast host of Authenticity with Marcus Ogden. Although his journey didn't come easy or without unrelentless adversity. After retiring from football, Marcus pursued a career in construction and contracting. At 27, he founded a construction company with fast growth, but eventually went bankrupt, losing almost $2 million on one project in 90 days. He pulled himself together during his darkest hours and got a part-time job as a custodian.
Marcus rose to the top again with hard work and determination, using his struggles as inspiration to blaze his own trail forward. Now he shares his powerful story to help others learn how to fall forward and achieve success in their lives. Marcus's story and insights as a thought leader have been featured in top publications such as USA Today, Forbes, Cheddar News, and Authority Magazine. As a speaker, he's landed jobs with over 50 Fortune 500 companies and over 15 Fortune 100 companies like Amazon, Goldman Sachs, Intel, JP Morgan Chase, and Home Depot. As a podcast host, he's interviewed iconic guests such as Michael Strahan, Joe Namath, and Willie Parker Jr. Marcus hopes to continue reaching new levels in his professional career and positively impacting as many people's lives as possible through doing what he loves. Everyone, welcome Mr. Ogden to the podcast.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
All right, so just real quick, $2 million in 90 days. You know, that's a big number for a short amount of time for any business, but to recover from it and then rise from the ashes, you know, this topic of mindset, I mean, being a professional athlete, you're already elite in getting to be a professional athlete, but having this happen, and it seems like you've gone up, been down, gone up, been down, you know, talk to us about that. That seems like a pretty big obstacle, you know, because it's a big number, so.
Yeah, man. You know, I tell people all the time, I went through so much during that period. It was between $2 to $3 million that I spent with the developer and the contractor. And when they denied my change order and didn't repay me for the work, I went into bankruptcy. And I tell everybody, learn from my mistakes. I should not have trusted the contractor, the developer, because I worked for them prior. It didn't mean, they were going to take care of me like I thought they were. And I literally got into a point where I just made some pretty big mistakes. I trusted people I shouldn't have trusted. I did not dot my I's. I did not cross my T's, and it cost me dearly. And I tell people all the time, man, you know, when I hit my rock bottom moment working as a custodian, when someone's trash and rotten meat and nasty protruding garbage cover my body, my skin, and my clothes. That was my wake-up call. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Being a custodian was an honest day's job. It paid the bills. I was all about trying to take care of my family. I was married at the time. I no longer am. But what I tell people is the rock bottom moment of the trash and the
Mm-hmm.
spoiled milk and the garbage getting over me and all over my body, my skin, and my clothes. That was the wake up call that made me realize if I don't get my life together today, I'm going to be always blaming somebody else for my failures, my shortcomings, and my mishaps.
Okay.
Well, let me ask a question. When you left the NFL, what made you decide to go into construction?
That's a great question. I chased what we call in the NFL big money syndrome or big check syndrome.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something that I thought could make a lot of money. Now, it's funny enough, when I started out, I was a small concrete contractor, then a small demo contractor. I started making a lot of money in earthwork, or we
Mm-hmm.
call,
That's
demolition of the earth,
Right.
Yep.
clearing, excavating, hauling out dirt. But what I also tell people is a lot of reward in that business. It's also a lot of risk. So when I got into that business, I was not properly funded to make a mistake. So basically, my first major mistake of not doing the job correctly, putting too much money into that hole over there in downtown Baltimore, that's what cost me. So again, I wanted to make money as a result of not being an NFL athlete anymore. I got into it, I made money, but I ended up losing a lot more along the way.
Well, I think what you just shared is like a good kind of teaches people who are athletes. Like after when you're ending your career in whatever sport you're in, there has to be something afterwards. So I think like people can learn from what you experienced and probably what you share with other people and learn from it and grow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, in life, you need to be doing something, no matter what, to keep moving forward. Because if you just start resting on your laurels, which you've done in the past, and you think you can just take it easy and you can just have a fun life, if you didn't set yourself up to do that, like I did not,
Yeah.
you need to do something else. You need to have that next step. Now, take my brother, who was the Ravens' first draft pick, made over $50 million in his career. Well, he could do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he earned that right. I
Right.
did not earn the right to have that kind of life after football. I needed to do something else to make the next move to prepare for life. But unfortunately, like I tell people all the time in my speeches, I got into construction for the absolute wrong reasons. And I paid the price dearly.
And for people that don't know, Marcus's brother's Hall of Fame left tackle Jonathan Ogden, right? So,
Correct.
all
That is
right.
correct.
So let's. We asked our guests the same three questions to get to know our guests, kind of as an entrepreneur. So this first question, you kind of said some things, but we'll ask it anyway. What are some early lessons learned as an entrepreneur?
Number one, never let your ego get the best of you. Never, ever. And I was telling my girlfriend this today. I said, in my business today, I've learned to be a lot more humble. We're having great success, but I'm still the same person. I'm still the same person that's going to be appreciative, humble. We were just noted as one of the top 10 business speakers in North America,
Wow.
featured in LA Weekly. Really excited about it. But again, I remember people not answering the phone when I would call. I
Right.
remember trying to get in touch with people, nobody picking up the phone, no callbacks, no paid work. So again, never let your ego get in the way as you're trying to build your business.
And do you think that changed? I mean, was that different because you're a professional athlete? Like there's not very many people who could say you're a professional. You made it to the NFL, to the league, and then you pivot and you kind of have those same expectations. That's kind of pseudo mindset follow you then in your post athlete career?
Great question. Yes, because I felt that I was on top of the world, but at the same time, I knew I had to start over at the bottom. But
Mm-hmm.
what happened was, and unfortunately for me, success was not something that I was prepared for. And I tell people all the time, if you're not prepared for success, success will hand you your butt.
Mm-hmm.
And it handed me my butt because once I had that mindset of being an NFL athlete, then I knew the business, started making some money in the business. You couldn't tell me anything. And that was the beginning of the end for me as a construction company owner.
Well, let me just jump right in the next question then. as an entrepreneur, what has been the best piece of advice that you've been given?
Great quote by Jack Del Rio. In life, be your own CEO. Jack said it best. Be your own chief executive officer. As Jack told us, as I was a 22-year-old rookie, if you don't come to work early, if you don't stay late, if you don't treat yourself as a business owner that works for the Jacksonville Jaguars underneath the NFL umbrella or
Mm-hmm.
logo, you won't last long. And in our business today, I am my own CEO. For example, with my team, I have an amazing team. I meet with my team each individually 5-10 minutes every week. We used to have team meetings. The problem with that was sometimes you have too many people trying to talk about certain things, and then sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you only have a certain amount of time.
Right.
I found it better to meet with people individually. Hey, how are you doing? What do you need? Do you need anything from me? And then from there, move to that, hey, let's go to the next phase here, phase there. It's more work on me, but my team responds better because they can say what they need to say and not be interrupted or have to follow certain protocol. So I found this to be the best way. Our team loves it, and that's what we do. So again, I'm out there not just saying, oh, here I am, I'm just leading these people. No. I'm meeting with them. I'm working with them. I'm letting them speak. I'm letting them give their ideas. It's more work on me, but I took that responsibility on by saying, you know what? You want to run Ogden Ventures, Marcus? You got to take care of these things the right way.
And last question, since this technically is a marketing podcast, why is marketing important?
Why is breathing important? Right? Why is breathing important?
Well, we
Because
know.
we can't breathe.
So,
We can't
yeah.
breathe, right?
We know. We
If
want you to
don't-
preach for us. So,
If you don't market, you don't live in business. It's that simple. You could have the best brand in the world. You could have the best thing in the world, the best product, the best service. Here's the catch. If nobody knows you exist, how in the heck can they buy your product?
Mm-hmm.
How can they? There's 5 keys to a successful business: branding, marketing, sales, ops, finance. Build your brand. But if you don't market that brand, if you don't market to people, if people don't know you exist, I don't care how good you are. I don't care how great you sell something. You will never reach your full potential. So marketing to a business is like breathing to a human being or like drinking water to any animal. If you don't do it, you won't survive long.
all right. That's probably the most definitive answer we've had on our podcast. So, thank you for sharing it. So, all right. Now we come to the part of our podcast, our advanced service pump you up quote of the day. So, this quote I'll read from Aristotle, and then Marcus, get your thought on it. In times of extreme darkness, focus on the light. So, simple quote. Share your thoughts on it, please.
I believe Aristotle meant that we are the light. We are the ones that can blaze our own trail. But here's the catch. We have to have confidence in what we are doing. We have to believe in what we are doing. And if you don't do that, if you don't act like that, you won't have any sort of real ability to create your own path, create your own legacy. So I really believe Aristotle meant is we are the light, but we have to have the confidence and we have to have the belief in ourselves to turn that light on and then move down the path of, hey, I want to do this in life. Great. Well, then be confident enough to blaze your own trail.
So the thing I see, and I've been guilty of it sometimes too, is I'll try to focus on the light, but may not have the conviction all the time. You know, where you say something, you maybe go through the motions, but you're almost focusing on the light, but focusing on the white, but walking blindly. So I guess we'll get into that a little bit more, but the conviction piece is so evident with you, you know, with when you get into that kind of the mindset topic. But that's what I've observed, like a self-observation is I don't fully have the conviction to always do, you know, to follow through and everything. So,
Well, conviction comes from doing something and then knowing your value in it
Mm-hmm.
without hesitation, right? And so once you do something enough and enough, then it gets to the next level. I tell everybody all the time, I didn't have conviction in myself when I started speaking, but now 10 years later this month, I mean, September 2013 is when I started this train of speaking. Today, I know what I have to do. I know what I'm good at. So, like, for example, I spoke last week in South Dakota for the entire state of South Dakota HR leaders. I thought I had to have a 45-minute segment, ended up being 80 minutes.
Ooh.
Started
Wow.
at 8:40 Central. At 10 a.m. Central, I finished right on the dot. Got great reviews, great job with that bureau. It's my first job with that bureau. Well, you know what? I have conviction in speaking today because I've been doing it for so long. I know that I'm good at it. Like, I can always continue to get better and work on my craft, of course, but I have conviction that I am good enough to do this. So I tell everybody all the time, conviction, in my opinion, comes from the belief in doing something over and over again to get to that next level.
All right, so let's get into it. Our Fuse Network's Did You Know segment.
HIPAA fines per record can be steep, with the consequences of noncompliance leading to penalties ranging from $100,000 to $50,000 per individual violation. Can your practice afford that kind of loss? Get your HIPAA compliance back on track with Fuse Networks. Call Fuse Networks, your local Seattle IT experts, at 206-701-6040 for a compliance evaluation and reduce your risk.
So there's two myths I want to read, and I'll read one and then get your thought on each of them. So this first one, Joe, do you want to read it actually?
Sure. A growth mindset is the pinnacle of greatness.
Incorrect. A victory mindset is the pinnacle of greatness. Growth mindset's good. That means you worry about your growth, your advancement, getting better. That's great. But if you want to be legacy leaving, have a victory mindset. Worry about your growth, everybody around you's growth, your team, your friends, your spouse, your children, your dog, your cat, whomever, right? It's not just about you. It's about everybody around you. So when you have a victory mindset, to me, that's when legacy start to get left.
And this next one, hardship creates winners. Your thought on that?
Hardship does not create winners. Learning from hardship does create winners, right? If you learn from the mistake, that makes you a winner. So again, me filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, that didn't make me a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Learning from it, so in my new business, in what I do today as a podcast host, speaker, coach, consultant, business owner, all these things, right? Now you're talking. Now you're learning. So hardships don't make you a winner. Learning from hardships makes you a winner.
So let's get into the topic of mindset. So obviously you've experienced adversity as you've shared and everything. With business owners and entrepreneurs, what are the one or two things you see wrong with the mindset of business owners and entrepreneurs?
A lot of times they expect things to happen overnight. They expect things to happen quickly. They expect things to happen because people on social media say, well, be like me and buy this house and have these cars and have this money and da-da-da-da. Well, no, he got it. But what did you do to get there? Right? I can tell you, I bought this beautiful home 4 months, it'll be 4 months ago on Friday. Moved in after my divorce. A lovely home.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to this home took years, not months, right? I had been prepping and all that. I bought it in a few months, but getting here through the work, the brand, the character, reputation, that took years. So if you don't have the right mindset to go all the way, and I have the first letter of the acronym mindset I have is M, mentally, you better be mentally prepared to go all the way. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen without going through adversity. Again, you're going to face hardship. But if you want to be successful, you need to learn from it. But again, if you think you're starting a business, you're going to have an overnight success. I don't know any business owner, absolutely zero, that have not had to go through hardship to get there.
So when people are listening to this episode and they're starting to pick up on what you're saying, um, and they're kind of accepting the fact that, all right, I have this mindset to change this. What are one or two things people could do right away to take steps in the right direction of getting on the right mindset?
Great question. Two of the four V's. First V is visualize. You have to visualize what you want. When I filed for divorce July 26th, and I had to move out November 15th of 2022, I set a visualization goal for myself to be in my new home by November 2023. I beat that by 6 months. Moved in May 15th, 2023. But I visualized it. Did I have everything around me being good and gold? Absolutely not. I was in a 2-bedroom apartment, dark, dingy, furnished. The furniture was like, I could have sworn Freddy Krueger was going to pop out of the refrigerator. It was so outdated. Everything was horrible. But I visualized a better place. And I eventually got there. But I also changed who I was around, which is the other V, vicinity. If you want to be great, hang around great people. And I changed who I was around once I got, by myself. I got close to my sisters who don't live here, but we really connected. One's I've known since I was 15. One's been in my life since I was born. Neither one of them really my sister, but they're like my sisters. I would talk to them now every day through text or phone call. I would really get some good friends that were clients that I really jammed and jived with, and they became my good friends. And I started talking to them daily, right? So I changed who I was around. So if you want to take some steps to get to where you want to go to in life, visualize where you want to be, and then change your vicinity. Change who you are hanging around.
Are you a believer in vision boards then?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. In my bedroom, which I'm in right now, I wrote out my whiteboards, my vision boards, my mind map. Oh, yeah. Like who's on my team? What are my streams of income for my different businesses? What parts of different businesses do I own? What money's come in? What am I pursuing? What are my short-term, medium, long-term stretch goals? Oh, yeah. I mean, if you can't see it, your mind has really a hard time processing it. That's my opinion.
So then, for people who may not know what a vision board is, could you just explain to our audience what a vision board actually is?
So a vision board is when you actually take where you are and then you put where you want to be on the other side and then what it's going to take to get there. So like for me, I had a vision board in my house. Okay. I'm in the apartment. Okay. I wrote, don't like it. I had on the other side, new home. Did I know what that looked like? Nope. Did I know a dollar amount? No way. But that was the other side. Okay, what am I going to do to get there? Call people for business, this thing for things, speaking, coaching, consulting, podcast sponsorships, outreach, connect. Here's the tactical side. There's a strategic side. So I put between where I was to where I wanted to be the little things. And one of my good friends, Shea Hillebrand, former Major League Baseball player, has a great saying, and I love it. Fall in love with the mundane things. And that's what I did. I fell in love with emailing people, shooting podcasts, going on podcasts, marketing, branding, all these things. So now we have a podcast that is super successful and fulfilling. I speak, I coach, I consult, all these. I just had somebody message me since the ladies now, third or fourth time that's kind of like, push me back for a call. And you know what I'm going to tell her? Ma'am, hey, when you're ready, you give me a call. Yeah. I'm not going to set another call with her. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. Why? Because I don't need to have people around me who can't make a decision, either yes or no. Either way is fine, right? Either way is fine with me. It's not going to change who I am, how I do things, but I'm in the place now that energy, I don't need it around. You keep pushing me back. No. This is the third time or fourth time. I'm good, right? So in that vision board, now where I'm at, I love where I am. But now I want to go to another level of, with my girlfriend, family. And what I'm living right behind right now, fellas, is I'm family first, work second. Yep. I used to be work first, family second. So I've learned through some things in my marriage, my past marriage, how to be with with my daughter, who I see her half the time, I'm 100% happy.
Mm-hmm.
I now focus family first and work second.
So getting back to that vicinity point, or you're talking about one of the V's, right? So how what what does it take to really do that kind of that audit in your life, whether it be personal or business? Sometimes it's business and personal. The person you want to disassociate from, right? Because I'm probably guessing people in our audience, like, oh, I've thought about that. I've seen it on Facebook. Like people will cleanse their Facebook friends, like respond to me or how do I know you kind of thing. Where does that start as an entrepreneur business person to like audit your vicinity?
You have to figure out what people or who are they and where are they going in life,
Mm-hmm.
and are they aligned with you? Doesn't mean you have to be exactly doing what you're doing, but are they positive? Do they like when you post something? Are they supportive? Do they really, if you do something big, they say congratulations, good work, good job? Do they check on you, right? If people aren't checking on you, or my friends, when I see something on social media, hey, I either message them personally or I comment or I like it, some sort of like, hey, great job, right?
Mm-hmm.
If people aren't giving you that type of positivity, that positive energy, you don't need it. I just said, that lady, like, I don't need that energy. Like,
Yeah.
if you can make a decision, yes or no, after 5 weeks of talking to me, you're not going to keep getting my time. Like, I'm done with that. I'm over that. So that person now, until they either say yes or no, nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. So again, that's an example of me saying, you know what? And you know what I tell you two guys? I don't think I want her as a client.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I have to go through all this, chase me back and forth, like, yeah, not all money is good money.
Yeah.
Right.
I've learned that. You know what I mean? So again, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about that energy, right? It's all about people. Are they supporting you? Are they cheering you on? Are they making an excuse why they can't meet with you? They can't support you. They can't be proud of you. If that's the case, you answered your own question.
So when you speak or like give workshops or anything, are there specific groups of people that are? Is your message more relevant to a certain type of business
No,
entrepreneur out there?
it works well for any business. We do like mindset, leadership, marketing, and sales, culture enhancement, diversity, equity, inclusion. So we have an array of different clients that range from Fortune 500 to Fortune 100 to universities to non-for-profits. It's all about, hey, are you trying to get better? And what area is that? Like I did a talk for a big medical group about how to prevent burnout in the corporate sector. I did a talk for the HR leaders of South Dakota. Too much self-absorption causes self-destruction. The importance of servant leadership. So to me, it's just all about moving forward in that regard.
So for people that want to get more information to potentially hire you or get more, find out more about you, what's the best way for people to discover you?
Great question. We've got there's three different ways. One is our link, www.marcus, MARQUES 360.com. Then you also have my website, www.marcusogden.com. And also, Jim, we have the Marcus Ogden app. You can go to Apple, Android, Google, your app store, type in my name, Marcus Ogden. Our app will pop right up. We have great content on there. As a matter of fact, Jim, we released some special content on mindset with some videos, some downloadable things you could do, worksheets for yourself. So it's very much interactive. So you can either go to our app, you can go to our marcus360.com site, or you can go to marcusogden.com.
What made you decide to start an app for your business?
Great question. More marketing. Getting out in front of people as easy as possible. We're averaging, I think my guy told me, about 8 to 12 downloads per day of our app. 8 to 12. People just want to have information as quick as possible. Websites are great. My 360 site is awesome. But if you want to, hey man, take a look at an app, what we're doing, where we're at, boom, You can type it in right there. Podcasts, exclusive content, services, who we are, what we do, and you can have it right there on your phone, right there with a little bitty icon app. You can press it and follow us, not to go to like the website, the internet and type in things. You can say, yep, Marcus Ogden, there's the app, boop. It's an easy way of marketing.
So one question, selfishly. So as a fellow podcast host, but not to the level of your Authenticity podcast, what's one tip of advice you give a fellow podcaster on growing your audience?
I'll tell you like this. Be as diverse as possible. Diversity is the king and or queen, my opinion, of podcasting. Joe Rogan, you have no idea who's on his show. Right. It could be a country music star. Yeah. It could be Snoop Dogg. It could be somebody that says they've been to Mars and seen the Mars men and Mars women. You don't know, right? And because of that, people from all backgrounds want to do what? They want to tune in. Yep. They want to listen. They want to hear. Diversity brings a great perspective when you are growing a podcast. Trust me, it works.
Awesome. Good piece of advice. Thank you.
Yeah. So before we close, our hashtag Valor Cares initiative, Joe, can you speak a word on that, please?
If you don't have a website or you need a website built, whether you have the funds or not, we'd love to help you out. Go to our website, the askvalormasterminds.com, click on Valor Cares, and submit your information.
So, Marcus, thanks for sharing a lot of that great free information, right? People could download the app, go visit you on the web, and there's consumable content ready, especially regarding mindset that they could tune into and everything. So, on behalf of our sponsors, Advanced Services and Fuse Networks, my name's Galen.
I'm Joe.
Coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. Marcus, thanks for jumping on. Great stuff. We'll share the links on our social media channels and everything. But great episode. So thanks everyone for tuning in.